What do you think will be some of the biggest challenges in executing something like this, having been there, done it yourself? What are people going to struggle with?
So we've got an unfair advantage because we are an ABM company. So we haven't had to go through that sort of operationalized sort of, change in terms of this is the way that we're going to do things. It's like we drink our own champagne and this is the way that it's done. And it's like, we've got this, platform to help us as well. So we've kind of got an unfair advantage there. But I think some of the challenges that we've seen from, our customers and prospects is that organizational change where they have perhaps just been focused on more a leads sort of focus where it's all about volume and it's all quantity over quality. Then that shift when you're then having this kind of account-based approach, actually all of those numbers are a lot smaller because you're really focusing on the accounts that matter most. So I think it's that operational change of like, actually as a marketing team, we're not just going to be like generating all of these leads, which in most cases are handed over to sales. At that point, marketing's like, done my job. And that's that, not a lot of companies are like that really, but that's what we've seen sort of in the past. It's really about making sure that you're swapping that sort of focus to say, no, we really want to be focused on a set of target accounts, engaging with those accounts, getting those into pipeline. So it's really swapping that mindset from quantity to quality. And then that marketing and sales alignment as well, which we already talked about, because of that traditional way of, we're just going to fill the funnel with as many leads as we can, regardless of whether they're a good fit for our business. It's created that divide between sales and marketing. So I think some of the ways that people could try and get started is to perhaps test out an ABM pilot with one or two salespeople that are perhaps more marketing friendly, and really sort of proving out the model to make sure that that it works. You're set up for success, and then once you start to see that success, that's naturally then going to get rolled out to the business, and it's much easier to get buy-in once you've done that pilot. You can say, we were able to get these accounts into pipeline, win these particular accounts because we had this specific, they were in our ABM program. We had a really sort of targeted approach towards them. So I think that's one way I would say, test it out on a smaller scale first to really prove out the model.
And do you say test it on a sort of more like one-to-one, one-to-few basis or one-to-many? Does that really matter how you sort of do ABM in terms of the sort of total addressable market? Or
so again, it depends on the objectives of the company. It's different. So what we see typically is that most companies would try that, test it out at the one to few level. So that might be a cluster of accounts. So we might test it on a particular industry, or it might be, actually, we're going to test this on customers and do this as like a customer expansion play versus prospects to really sort of test out how it works. So it really depends on what the objectives are for the business, but generally it's on a smaller sort of segment of accounts to begin with.